I've been fortunate to have been playing Kantai Collection since November of 2013. I was the first of my friends, even among the friends of my friends, to ever get into the game and give it a try. Between that time and now, plenty of characters from the game have come and gone as my personal favorites, and there have been a good number that have stayed pretty consistent. There have also been some that have made an impact on how I perceive the game and its characters. Considering that the ship girls are arguably the most vital part of KanColle, and there are new girls being added all of the time, this list is meant to demonstrate who or what is important to me in its broadcast as I continue to play the game. If you don't already play KanColle, I don't know how helpful this video will prove to be as a learning tool, but hopefully it will prove to be entertaining nonetheless. Starting out at number 15, it's Ikazuchi, with her enthusiastically loyal personality, and, even more specifically, her boat anchor melee weapon. Yeah, swords are cool, and magic is interesting, but nothing combines ship theming with awesome quite like a boat anchor to the face! That takes some imagination. But what doesn't take a lot of imagination is my number 14 entry, Z1. She's pretty much just here for the sake of her design. Her boyish charm, blonde hair, perfect skin, adorable outfit, and my unceasing fetish for a great pair of legs. Everything just comes together here, especially her color scheme. Sorry, Z3, but you're just not the same. Similarly, at number 13 is I-19. I figure it doesn't hurt to put a submarine on this list. I'm sure everybody who's played the game has a favorite, and mine is Iku, because school swimsuits, duh, that hair, those boobs, oh, and she's... Combine her appearance with the opinion that I find she has one of the most amusing personalities in the game. Color me surprised that she isn't higher up on this list. Coming in at number 12, though, there's Zoiho. She comes across as someone who just graduated from trainee to soldier, which is supported by her childlike figure compared to most of the other aircraft carriers, and her constant enthusiasm to finally get her turn on some of the action. No, she isn't violent, just very eager to get her chance to be sent out into the field. But most importantly, next to another girl higher up on this list, Zoiho's got to have just about my favorite voice in the game. Very pivotal indeed if I have to listen to her chatter about planes all day. And continuing the trend of tiny girls with bomber planes, here is Taiho at number 11, who is more on the brainier side in contrast to Zoiho's enthusiasm. She's clearly smart, wise, and a natural at instructing others. Even me. If only she didn't have such miserable luck. Still, her terrible fortune is counteracted in-game by her ability to continue fighting, even after she's taken moderate damage. Something other aircraft carriers are unable to do, attributing to her wisdom. I guess that armor plating on her stomach is good for holding her up straight. Now then, let's start off the top 10 with an unexpected pick. At number 10, Akashi. This girl's workaholic nature serves to be her most defining and endearing asset. While she isn't much of a fighter, Akashi instead excels at fixing up my ships, lending me a helping hand with my resources, even if that means spending a little bit of real money, and overall helping me save my time and patience in a game that's already basically structured around making me wait. An unsung hero of the fleet who doesn't get much credit for being behind the scenes. I hope I can help shed some light in Akashi's direction by fitting her into this list at a well-deserved number 10. Number 9, Shokaku. I like the idea of a girl who is capable and a good worker, but bruises easily or doesn't have the greatest constitution in the world. Generally somebody who has to take things gently. Also, I can take care of her and patch her up when she comes home as if she were my delicate little doll. Point is, Shokaku is a great example of injury moe, as I'd like to call it. Like, whenever I look at her, I see her as analogous to a giant adorable pincushion, if you catch my drift. Soft yet competent, with an endearing personality, Shokaku eases her way in at number 9 and stands firmly as a strong example for what's still to come. Number 8, Amatsukaze. For a good number of months, Shimakaze used to be one of my all-time favorite KanColle characters, arguably my outright favorite. But then everything changed, pretty much instantaneously, when the girl taglined as Shimakaze's sister, Amatsukaze, came onto the scene. I remember it well. Something suddenly clicked inside my head at that very moment and made me realize, you know, there can be better out there than Shimakaze after all. I'm not exactly sure why, but ever since that day I felt more responsible with my taste in ship girls, and I'm actually happy about that. Shimakaze isn't necessarily a bad character. In fact, I do think she wields some genuinely interesting qualities. But something about the cool factor that Amatsukaze brought to the table somehow taught me that I could do better. Number 7. Zoikaku.
昇格型航空母艦2番艦妹の髄核です。
Honestly, although Amatsukaze seems like the more obvious tsundere because of her classier nature, the one who's actually far more tsundere is Zoikaku here. She actually tries to shoot down the Admiral with her planes. But I always assume that comes from her fierce fighting spirit. Unlike Zoiho, who desires to get the chance to fight, Zoikaku isn't called the lucky ship for nothing. This girl's a long-lived fighter who never gives up. She reminds me of a grown-up Zoiho dressed up to look like Shokaku, and given how both of those girls are already on this list, with their powers combined, Zoikaku proves her lucky status yet again by notching herself up to number 7. Number 6. Suzuya.
鈴谷だよ。よろしくね。
What I appreciate even more than just fighting spirit, though, is fun. And based off of her dialogue, Suzuya comes across like she'd be a lot of fun. Personally, she's also very good to me in-game ever since I got her many months ago. Always getting crits, disabling those pesky submarines by actually making use of my super rare seaplanes, and proving to be my only heavy cruiser that doesn't feel awkward being sandwiched between my burly battleships and aircraft carriers. You've been a good friend, Suzuya, you little rascal, you. And that's why I've kept you locked into my primary fleet for so long. Number 5. Yudachi.
こんにちは。白露型駆逐艦夕立よ。よろしくね。
Speaking of surprising rascals, though, I don't think there's any other that could take the cake and blow it up better than this chick. She's both one of the cutest and most intimidating characters present in KanColle. She might just be a destroyer and talk like a valley girl, but her crits are the stuff of legend, and she even comes with an awesome nickname, the Nightmare of Solomon. I think what makes her more interesting is just the fact that she doesn't even start out this way. Instead, when I got her for the first time, her appearance told me that she'd be better suited wearing Lolita-style dresses than sinking battleships twice her size. I don't know what caused her to change, but the beauty of Yudachi is that she isn't overly sadistic like Tatsuta, extremely childish like Tenryu, or even someone I'd like to keep my penis as far away from as possible like Kongo. Yudachi is a crystallized, perfect blend of adorability and insanity. Number 4. Haruna.
高速戦艦春菜着任しました。
Essentially a fantastic combination of all of the girls on this top 10 up to this point. She's a little bit insecure and a total softie, but she values her comrades dearly and wields the strength to defend them. I've heard her physically described as having the look of a good old Japanese woman, but first off, that's totally Hosho, and secondly, those bangs aren't just good, nor are they old-fashioned. I'd argue they're her charm point. Extremely appreciative of her admiral, and leaving little to be desired. Why isn't Haruna your waifu yet? Well, I would say that's because she's already mine, but Haruna does not accept selfishness! Number 3. Nagato.
私が戦艦長門だ。よろしく頼むぞ。
More than anyone else on this list up to this point, this is the woman that I feel most confidently towards successfully completing her mission, as well as protecting her allies and her admiral. Among the most reliable and the most powerful, with Nagato by my side, I strongly feel that we could accomplish anything. She's like my personal in-game superhero, cool and strong. Even as I called Haruna my waifu, if I ever met a girl like Nagato in real life, you better believe I'd marry her if I could.
大丈夫。私はあなたと共にある。
Number 2. Taige/Ryuho.
こんにちは。潜水母艦タイゲイです。
Hands down, Taige has the best characterization in this entire game. And for a very simple reason, too. She actually has a legitimate character arc, and not just a couple line changes or a different style of outfit. She begins as a lowly submarine tender who can barely fire a gun, much less actually take a hit, before the combined powers of science and shonen courage evolve her into a beautiful butterfly. Aircraft carrier. Yeah. Even all of her lines completely changed to match this. She's a sweet girl, her character makes a solid first for the franchise, and she has arguably the most adorable and breathtaking outfits in KanColle. Taige being so high up on this list is a no-brainer for me. Number 1, Bismarck.
グーテンターク。私はビスマルク型戦艦のネームシップ、ビスマルク。よーく覚えておくのよ。
Because of course something regarding World War II related matters couldn't go without following Godwin's law. To my credit though, this is sheer coincidence. My liking her has nothing to do with her identification with the Nazi party. In fact, it's simple, really. Bismarck is the absolutely ideal role model character for every other ship girl in the fleet. She's commanding, strong, fierce, swift, respectful, proper, beautiful, and so on. She doesn't even bear any insecurities. Heck, she must be secure about herself to not wear any pants. If anything, she's more of a goal than she is a character. And I guess she's aware of that too, because she's more than willing to instruct my fleet about proper discipline. Bismarck is an achievement. Bismarck is perfection. Bismarck is my #1 favorite character in Kantai Collection. Even if she's technically a Nazi. Whew. And that's a wrap at last. My opinions on some girls could end up changing with the upcoming anime. There's also a very likely chance that they won't. Heck, there might even be some girls that pop up in future updates of the game that I might recognize as worthy additions to this list someday. All of which are potential reasons good enough for me to get this list out in the open now, and I didn't take it lightly. So if you like this video and would be interested in future Kantai Collection videos from me, please make it a point to subscribe and click that like button just underneath the video window. And if you, by any chance, disagree with my reasoning, would like to show off your own favorites, or maybe you're a newbie and have some questions about the game, please leave a comment down below. I make it a point to read every comment I receive for any and all of my videos. All of the music in this video are actually remixes of songs from the game, not made by me, so links to them can be found in the drop-down menu just underneath the video window. So, with that said, Admiral Zack is out.